Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you may be. Welcome back to more pilot. This isn't a pilot spoiler. This is Survivors of Hyrule. ALttPR tournament. We've got Magno versus Tam in an open seed, and our commentators for today will be Clearmouse and Ravis. Take it from where you two.
Yo, how's it going? Hey, Ravis. Thanks, BXR.
Hello, hello. Welcome,
Whoa.
everyone.
Yeah. So what do you think, Ravis? Impromptu pilot spoiler. You pilot Gamma. I'll pilot. You pilot Magno. I'll pilot Tam. What do you think? It's only open, right? How hard could it be?
You know, I want to sit here and enjoy the race.
Fair.
So I would be cool if you wouldn't spoiler Tam. But yeah, I think this is going to be a very good one. I mean, these two runners are part of Team Potato Pouches. Surely Brogor, as the third teammate of that, is going to watch right now. But right now, these two are not teammates in this one, in Survivors of Hyrule, because Magno's part of my team, and Tam is part of Flippy's team.
How dare you split them up, Ravis? Didn't you know? You knew ahead of time.
No, I didn't know about Tam.
Oh, true. Yeah, but this tournament has been really exciting so far, right? And I really like this format. I don't actually think other people like this might be like the first of its type. I think, right? Basically, like a teammate elimination. So okay, correct me if I'm wrong. So you start out with 4 people, right? You recruited 3 other players with you, and then you just keep playing until the entire team gets eliminated. Is that right?
Yeah. And also, this is the 4th game, so these two runners are the last of their respective teams to run in the first 4 games. Because in the first 4 games, every runner has to run, so you can't just cheat and send like your best runner always, and then it's gonna destroy everyone before anyone else gets to run.
Okay. So in theory, then like you could actually have just like one person just like play like the rest of the matches or something, right? Or at least like eventually kind of end up that. Okay, yeah.
It's only required that in the first 4 races, everyone has to race once. And currently it's 2-1 in our favor. But we already know what game 5 is. It's inverted keys with Food Store.
Okay. Yeah. So are you, out of curiosity, going to be playing that game, Ravis? Or sorry, do you not want to reveal, your strategy?
Well, we're not gonna reveal the strategy right now, fair. But people know that entrance is not my strength, and we have both entrance races remaining. So there's a good chance that I'm gonna play it, but I don't know. So that is a bottle on Lumberjack, by the way. Not that it matters too much, but we
the good news is that there are 3 other bottles out there. So the hope, of course, is that you don't have to go beat Aga for that one bottle for a sick kid to have progression. However, it has happened in the past. And actually, so speaking of, this is technically what, game 2, right? But this is really the 4th sequenced game. Modes also get eliminated as they go, right? Once someone picks a mode, for example, inverted keys has not been picked for this particular matchup or this team's matchup. So in this case, these guys are playing open. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. You talk about actually, like Tam and Magno being former league mates, maybe because our current league teammates. They can do anything. When I first saw this mode, speaking of which, there's a sword. It's like of all modes that they can play, like I feel like open almost might be too easy for them. Maybe may not be like as exciting, Yeah,
I don't know how it was for their team to decide who's gonna run open, but in our team it was like okay. It was between him, Magno, and 2C, and all of them were like, open, I don't know. And I was like, dude, I would play open immediately, but I already have played, so I can't. And then Magno said, yeah, why not? And the other 2 waited with their games to be scheduled.
Okay, fair. Taking one for the team. I understand. Magno is definitely a team/league/survivor player. I totally understand.
Yeah. And I mean, open, everyone knows open. If you've played Rando once, you probably played the regular open. So this is nothing new for the runners. It's basically just a normal rando seed, and of course this is a race, but they know things can happen and anything inside the race, but at least you have to play well and don't have any regrets in doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and in fact, so open, of course, is one of the first modes, right? Bread and butter type of thing, from Rando. This is kind of where everything, first, started, right? That and like standard start opening. It's while there are not a lot of, I would say, like, variations, as you've maybe seen, for example, inverted, key sanity with starting flute type of thing, cross keys, as you said, you still have to play well. You still have to go find the items. You could definitely still get randoed in open mode. It just happens to be that you just know a little bit more about, where things may possibly be.
Yeah, and I was just reading chat, and before I come to chat itself, I want to give a big shout out to Daruk, who's tracking for us today,
awesome.
and VXR for restreaming us here on ZSR too. Thank you for doing all the stuff, and also VXR in the chat was asking about the sprite of Tam, and I've seen that, but do you know what sprite that actually is?
I have no idea. I assumed it was some sort of surfing Care Bear. What did we see on library? Did Magno say that?
That was a simple hookshot. So
just a simple one. Okay.
Yeah, a simple one. So already we can say there's a second sword, all right, but we are not gonna see Boots and Meyer for sure. That we can already say.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that. So I mean, we will see in this case whether or not Meyer is a pendant or not, or Swamp for that matter. But it's actually very interesting, right? If we have so many things that are Boots/hookshot locked. Ideally, we would, like if Meyer is a crystal or a Swamp is a crystal, we definitely know that boots are required, which would be great. We just, don't want them for like, boots go mode, but yeah. And unfortunately or fortunately, we just see 3 crystals in the light world already. Dark is lightning fast at marking them, which certainly does increase the chances of the later dungeons like Meyer or Swamp being pendants. We're gonna at least hope for one of them, to be a crystal, which it's likely to happen. Somehow, though, this Kakariko is... we've got a lot of really good stuff. We already got a glove. We already have a ton of money. Enough for Zora, in fact. And we've got a Master Sword to get out, so really, we're going to just look for those boots, and then we can, we can go really fast. Certainly would be really nice to have a flute as well. That would certainly increase the mobility.
as long as we're going to see the Moon Pearl, I think both runners are going to fake flipper, but Tam is now doing back of escape with it, which I think Magno hasn't done yet.
I'm
a bigger fan of doing that early, since, it's like there's nothing making that check really fast besides a mirror or boots, and the chance of getting boots is actually not too bad, or anything that helps you on the South Shore, like a Moon Pearl, like flippers. So I like that more from Tam to just get it out of the way early, since there's basically no way that you're not gonna do it.
Yeah, so and also, we got a key, no map so far. Yeah, I was gonna say it also decreases the chances that you'll forget later, because it is such an it's 3 fast checks, but you still have to remember to go do them, right? In this case.
Yeah, and I mean, with that key, we have the front of escape in logic as well, so. Magno not taking the...
Yeah, I was gonna say, Magno thought about it too. Looks like he's gonna be willing to...
Yeah.
Oh wow, we are so flush with that. We should add open 7-7 with shop sanity for how much money we have. We need sort of like money sink.
Make it sudden retro, so we have to
yeah, exactly.
Money
Yeah, but at least so far, right? So Tam is just a little bit behind Magno in terms of, I guess, like making progress in South Shore. But Tam is done, back of escape, and Tam has checked Lumberjack to see that bottle. So other than that, pretty even in terms of just checks made.
Yeah, I mean, Magno's probably gonna do a Lumberjack when he goes up the mountain, so that's not gonna be a big issue for him. Back of escape probably gonna be after that. For Tam now, it's more likely that he's gonna fake flipper since he has done already back of escape. I can see Magno save and quitting here, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's also a good question. Ooh, Magno. All right, so picking up actually 3 bombs from Magno is actually quite good. We'll save them some trouble of actually buying some bombs, and it's always gonna be kind of nice to have just a couple extra in your back pocket. This is the back of escape check, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and other than that, I mean, we have 2 checks out of logic on the mountain, but there's basically only Saha, the eastern area, and Zora left. Front of escape still, but
Oh, right, yeah. This is open. The front of Escape is completely, open for lack of a better word. The hope, of course, is that you don't have to go visit Dark Cross. Especially in this case, if it holds a map, it is quite the trek to get there, and no one wants to spend that extra amount of time. Especially, for Magno and Tam, right? I mean, their execution is definitely top tier. You don't really want to give up time making these, like really long extra checks that you don't need to.
Yeah, and Magno now. Starting in Sank again, making me think he wants to definitely see what's on Lumberjack since he has 2 swords. He knows his hookshot is boots locked. He might likely see boots very soon and lamp, and he just wants to know if there's a hammer or anything, so he knows when he goes Hyrule Castle he can also finish Agatha as well.
Yeah. No, that's actually a really good call. Right, and especially in open mode, if we don't start with boots, even walking over here to Lumberjack is a little bit of a hike. Nothing terrible, but if you can somehow, delay this, right? Once you have the boots, or once you're gonna. Was that a pearl?
I think that was the moon pearl. Yeah.
Did we totally blank on Lumberjack?
I was sure I saw a bottle.
Oh well then. Okay, let us change. Let us change our
all right.
Our outlook. We are definitely doing Aga. So let's go find that lamp. Okay, so if you see the pearl on Lumberjack, and you've got 2 swords.
I'm going to answer that question with a no.
Okay, perfect.
Because you wanted to ask me if I do deck Aga, right?
Yes, correct. That is exactly the right question.
No. That's not coming. Sure, it can help, but in the end, first of all, I want to see my boots. And yes, they can be on Pyramid Ledge, but let's be real. There's way more checks.
Exactly.
Before. If it's the hammer or something like else, that makes more sense, but I personally am not too comfortable in Dark Aga. Unless I have a fire rod and have magic. Ooh, tempered sword.
Yeah, that's tempered nice already is it's definitely gonna make the Aga climb just a little bit nicer and faster, right? Most things now die in 1 slash versus the Master Sword with this 2.
Yeah,
Tam,
also
by the way,
found the lamp. Where was that?
Yeah, back of Saha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Tam is definitely gonna do Aga now here with Hyrule Castle as well.
Yeah, and in fact, I think Tam did. Oh my god!
Oh my god! We're gonna see Butter Sword too
4
soon.
swords, yeah. In all, basically, it's super early. Oh wow, that is a mirror on.
But that could be. That is also a problem because Magno doesn't have the lamp, and if there's something Hera basement locked in form of the boots, for example, that's gonna be another trip up here, and that is significant in time.
I was okay. Yeah. I was gonna ask. So with the mirror, would you guys go do Hera? I mean, it's a crystal, and you can get there. You don't have a fire source, as you said, but I mean, it is a crystal. Or would you?
It is a difficult decision.
Yeah. Or you're gonna looks like he's gonna stay.
Well, let's say it this way: if the bomb jump fails, that makes your decision.
Okay, that is also very fair. Yeah, it looked like a good lineup, though. He is going into Hera with not the best of health. I mean, 2 hearts is fairly very doable, but he does have to be a bit careful.
It's fine. Health is not a big deal here.
Okay.
It's just the fire source situation right now that is probably on Magno's mind, which I totally understand. We have pendant. Oh my god, we have all the mids dungeon as pendants. So this can be a very quick seat, and in such a seat, you definitely don't want to go up the mountain twice because that minute can already be deciding.
Oh no, mirror blocking. Unfortunately, I was gonna say. So the good news, by the way, is that Swamp is a crystal, even though Meyer is a pendant. So we are gonna go see those boots. Well, which is very good news, at least for Magno.
Yeah, we're gonna see what is up with her. I mean, Tam might not even go up the mountain. He knows where Moon Pearl is. If he can find the boots somewhere, here or maybe on Pyramid Ledge.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. It was fine. It was totally fine to go here.
Alright, Magno. It looks like it's a early potentially advantage here for. Actually, Ravis, I meant to ask you what is the name? What is the meaning behind your team name, Stalfo Squad?
Oh, we had to come up with a name, and
are you individually like a Stalfos, like in the game? Like, are you like a?
So I made a picture of the Eastern Stalfos room. With all our Discord pictures
awesome.
being the heads of the Stalfos.
That is
So
awesome.
as long as you don't know the relation to that picture, you're missing some information. It looks like a casual name, but it's actually related to something. So you say again?
Well, but you have to. I was gonna say, but you have to spawn all of the Stalfos, right? Like sometimes if you walk the right way, sometimes you can despawn some of them. Yeah.
Well, it was
Very,
easy.
very
It was easy
curious.
to just go into the middle and they spawned perfectly, and then
True, true.
well, whatever. No, I'm gonna not. Nice bonk, Magno. How did that work?
He got through. He got through. It's all that matters. I mean, he found the boots up here, and he found both items, right?
Yeah,
he found
that's
the boots
more
and
important than both
300.
items.
So definitely not, no basement time today. And like even if he didn't have the lamp or whatever, even if there was an item, somewhere in the basement, you don't have the lamp, don't worry about it, right?
Yeah, but like in such
Tim.
seats. So if you miss. Yeah, that's the flute.
Yeah. So Tam has definitely found a lot of goodies. I mean, good for Tam for going all the way to Dark Cross and being, I guess, a bit more thorough, because we did find the map in the front of Escape, and sometimes Dark Cross is just kind of like it's an easy skip, right? In order to say, like,
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna go do Aga, so really good on Tam to follow through. It was gonna be a little bit slower just because Tam doesn't have the mirror, so had to kind of death warp from Ball and Chain Guard. Instead of instead of just using the mirror. But yeah, Tam doesn't need any more motivation in order to finish up Aga here.
This is gonna be a little bit of a route divergence because Magno's gonna send himself on the Death Mountain first with the hookshot he's gonna get here right now, and it's gonna probably look for some more stuff, maybe like a bow or something.
So I mean, well, so like with the. Well, I was gonna ask, so like with the mirror, so you can go between light and dark pearl, and you know where the pearl is. Like, would you just not like? Well,
he doesn't have
you?
lamp yet. He doesn't have lamp yet, right? Why would he do? Okay. Why would he do that now? He knows he has to do Aga. He knows he has to get the lamp. Like you're just going up the mountain here.
Yeah, but I guess like all
the. In front of Escape, maybe. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, yeah. Well, he knows that the mountain is all lamp locked, right? Because he sequence broke it in order to get up there, and then that's where the boots were too, right? So the lamp certainly can't be there. Maybe there's a fire rod up there though, like for all he knows.
Yeah.
Maybe.
True. I mean, I hope personally, I hope he's not gonna do Dark Air because 5 hearts, green mail. I can always something go wrong.
This is some potential team anxiety. He's got gold sword, right?
Still,
like everything's gonna die in one
that.
hit. Don't worry. It would certainly be a little bit more helpful. Maybe if you had a bottle with a fairy inside, what we originally thought was on Lumberjack.
So I think what's gonna happen is he's gonna check Dark Cross and he's gonna see the flute, and I think that will make him save and quit and not go to Aga and just activate the flute.
Interesting.
But I also would have liked to not see him do that and pick up the flute, pick up the moon pearl with the flute activation. But in the end, it's just a couple of seconds. But he has the boots for front of Escape, so that's very, very nice. And
yeah, right. I mean, the fact that the fact that the Magno actually sequence broke up the mountain and just found the boots, right? I mean, it's going to be a very strong speed advantage, for Magno. Not only for the boost move, right? He also got the hook shot out of it as well, right? And it's very, very powerful. Of course, no level of sword is going to save you from Aga. It's going to be the exact same number.
how many blue buds is it going to get?
Oh, well, it definitely will be equal between Magno and Tam. We're just going to hope in this case it's not going to be too many, right?
We got
one. Maybe Tam can finish Aga before Magno finishes Escape.
Also, I want to say a very
two,
warm...
right?
Yeah, 2. But I want to say a very warm welcome to all the raiders from Zelda Speedruns Prime. Welcome everyone here. This is a match between Magno and Tam of the Survivors of Hyrule tournament. This is game 2, or rather game. Well, it says game 2, but it's technically game 4 since the first 4 games were able to be scheduled in a random order. And yeah, both these runners are right now about to go into Aga Tower. Magno do not having the lamp right now. Is gonna find his flute lamp locked here. And Tam is doing Aga right now because we have the moon pearl on Lumberjack ledge.
Yeah, there's been a lot of blue balls so far on Tam's side. We're almost there. Okay, all right, at least we've made it. So I think, presumably with this, Tam's going to check the pyramid and then save and quit, and then immediately, well, not immediately, because we still need to go get those boots before we can go get the pearl.
I hope this is not going to be a bow, because then I can see
it's flippers.
Oh.
Okay, so that's certainly required. Swamp is a crystal. This might, for what it's worth, like drive Tam and eventually Magno to do some flippers checks as well, right?
I
They
mean,
both put off Zora.
he's gonna do flippers checks right now.
Oh,
Because
Tam.
for him, those could be the boots, right? He doesn't want to go up the mountain for 2 stupid checks.
Yeah, but
And
I mean, like
this is-
Tam having the lamp, like
If this is gonna be a hammer or something, I think Tam is gonna wait. Well, he can't actually wait. He needs the moon pearl still. Never mind.
Right. Yeah, a lot of things in Dark World are basically gated by that pearl, which is of course gated by the boots, right? So eventually Tam's gonna run out of stuff to do, and then eventually be kind of like forced up the mountain.
Also, Magno is doing Dark Agga right now.
So for the most part, I think especially being I get a more veteran cross keys runner, like getting the second chest of Aga Tower seems I won't say necessarily more standard, but it's certainly very common to do in the dark. It's kind of like that last room right before I guess like the lit area, like up on top of the castle. That room with all the pits and the guards, that is probably the most difficult one.
Yeah, I mean this maze can be very annoying, but it looks like he got the hang of it. Yeah, that looks good.
Every room is just you go in one door and out the other. You just have to find where the door is.
So yeah, Tam's gonna activate this flute again. A flute activation without the boots. We have to count these stuffs because like all the things Tam's right now doing is without the boots, and this is just a simple open. Like these times matter in the end because we have green pendant turtle rock, we have pendant mire, we have pendant ice. Like we can very easily get mid go mode.
True. I mean, the fact that Tam does have the flute, though, like coming back to Kakariko is not going to be as big of a deal, right? We don't have to walk all the way back here, at least, right, for Tam.
No, but at least for the flute activation, you have to walk back.
True, yeah.
So. And those are some easy dash waves for Magno.
Yeah, speaking of more easy dash waves, right? You can, I mean, we have flippers now, but I mean, like, we can also just water walk to Zora, too, right? That's also going to be a bit more time.
If he decides to do that, I think he's gonna get it. Well, he's getting his flippers now, right? So there's no water walk incoming. Activating the flute as well.
Yeah, but I mean, like, any worries you might have had in this case from doing Dark Aga, Magno has completely dispelled them because here he is at the top of the tower. Like he has definitely done quite well in order to get.
I'm proud.
Good job, team. Yeah.
Convince me. Always if you want to go for that like that, then yeah. Go ahead if you feel comfortable.
Yeah, Tam, of course,
the second runner in our team that actually is doing Dark Aga.
Second one, who was the first?
Tusi did it against Vortex.
Nice. Yeah, dark rooms. I mean, man, it's sometimes just difficult to like not take for granted, just because how good everyone is here. But I almost feel like like doing some of these dark rooms are no joke. Like they can actually be quite difficult. And Magno, especially actually today, makes it look quite easy. It is definitely not easy.
Oh no, for sure.
Like especially, I mean, like it's like everything looks fine, and it's like, oh, I can do that as long as nothing goes wrong. But once something goes wrong, right? Like the number of heart, like your health just basically just tanks.
Yeah,
it is definitely not good. All right, it looks like Tam's gonna get their gold sword.
So the only thing we haven't seen this far is Agina. And obviously everything behind the moon pearl, but no one has picked up the moon pearl yet. So. But Agina's definitely still open. I wonder if there's something, maybe a hammer or something, which Well, we have actually East Death Mountain. I forgot about that again. We still have everything over here with the hook shot.
Yeah, and with the flute, like checking Agina, especially in this case, once they get the boots as well, right? It's not going to be too big of a deal. But exactly. But I mean, so we do have to get into desert somehow. If it is Mitsuko mode, that would be pretty dang cool. Otherwise, we're gonna probably go look for a book somewhere as well. But either way,
this seed can be either super fast or super long because we technically don't need any medallions. We don't need an ice rod. We technically don't need a cane of Somaria unless the GT keys behind cane of Somaria. So there's a lot of items that are not necessary in this seed.
Yeah, all of a sudden, yeah. And in fact, with the mirror, with the flippers, with the hook shot, right? We have access to Swamp too.
I
How
wonder.
aggressive? Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, how aggressive would you be here in terms of skips? Like, would you just leave, one or two items on left side if you decide to go into swamp?
I don't know, but what I would have liked to see from Magno's side was he could have bunny walked actually towards the potion shop, picking up his moon pearl, flying back to 2, and taking that portal back and go to, let's say, King's Tomb, for example.
Has he activated his flute yet?
No, but well, okay, he could just go back to the portal, but it's whatever.
I see. Okay.
But yeah, the flute activation would have made a difference, at least for more time save. But yeah, Tam now going to get his boots finally. Gonna feel a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably it's kind of unfortunate, from our vantage point, because we saw Magno sequence break these boots out very early. I mean, maybe I don't know how you feel like during a race. So maybe my opponent didn't come up here, but at the same time, if my opponent did come up here, you don't feel very good.
He's not going to continue. Wow.
Oh, Tam is leaving. Yeah, even with the fire source, Tam looks like they want that hook shot, and then I guess maybe we're gonna go do Paradox. Maybe Paradox, Pearl, and maybe or all of Light and Dark World together. Yeah, we don't have a bow, we don't have a hammer. Where can we go besides the mountain?
Alright, Magno's now gonna pick up his moon pearl. And then we're gonna see maybe some differences on what the runners are gonna do.
Yeah. I mean, despite having all of this extra stuff, we are actually quite still limited in terms of access, right? We don't have a hammer. That's probably like one of the biggest things. Ooh, Tam, where is Tam going? Maybe Tam wants to go do
He's doing the same way.
North.
Magno did the same thing. They both did go activate the flute, so I assume actually that's faster.
Right.
But I didn't know that as well.
Yeah, I think it's like the NMG route or something. You end up taking that portal, and then you end up coming up here in order to go basically to the mountain.
All right, so Magno's not gonna do the mountain now. He's gonna use that portal and go somewhere, probably northern part. Already has to do a decision if he wants to check catfish or not. That's one of the first parts in the race when you do Aga. We're gonna see the catfish check, all right?
Yeah, well, so Magno hasn't done any of the flipper checks, right? So this is actually
it makes sense for him. It makes definitely more sense for him.
Remind me, did we see Hobo on Tam's side?
We
I remember.
Did I want to say?
I can't. Yeah, but I mean, Tam definitely did the flipper check, the water checks near the Zora area. I'm not sure if they ended up visited all of the shepherds. Okay, yeah. Our awesome tracker.
Just with the knowledge.
See, exactly why. Oh man,
Tam. Oh no.
Tam, no.
Oh, but a big fight on Magno's side.
That is.
I look at that smut. That was a smut. I saw that. I wish the restream could have seen the cam right there. Oh my god.
Oh, look at that. Look at how proud your teammate is, Ravis. He is so happy he made that decision. That is actually quite anything on catfish. It just makes things. I mean, once you find something on catfish, you just feel good automatically.
Tam tried to do a very nice strat. I hope he's gonna go for it again, but I don't think so. He tried to bomb and then mirror, and then pick up the bomb again, and then now he's to wait for the bomb to explode. If you place the bomb first, delete the block next, and take the bomb quickly, you can use that time.
I didn't even realize. I mean, that sounds like that sounds like a very high APM.
It depends how many items you have for quick swapping. Because max it's like 4.
True. I guess it's just bombs and bow, right? Or potentially
hookshot, then boomerang, and then bow, and then mirror. So it's upon how you feel about it, and unfortunately it didn't work. But the attempt is I like that. All right, regular Dark World access. So we're not gonna see Northern Dark World now. We're gonna see Hype Cave. We're gonna see Swamp Palace. It makes total sense. And now we come to your question back that you had earlier about that left side swamp. I have no solution to that answer because I will take the wrong option. So I'm leaving that choice to Magno and Tam here.
That sounds like a very rando experience. Is whatever you decide to end up doing, it's always the wrong decision. But hopefully in this case, I mean, Magno has played the seed quite well so far, and not only in terms of execution, right? You know, for example, like Dark Aggo, there's really nice Kina Samaria, but
You want to have that.
yeah. I mean, it'll be nice for Diver Down for Swamp for sure. Could also be, you know, you kind of like to have it just for some other execution-based things, but you certainly don't really want to use it. In fact, in order to try and get into some of the other dungeons.
So,
as you said, this can be a very, very fast seed.
So for me personally here in Swamp coming up, I think we're going to see that on Tam's side as well. As long as he's going to check Catfish.
Yeah,
but
they
we're gonna
need to
see
do
that
Catfish first, right? Mm-hmm.
But he's less intensive to go there since he has done the Zora stuff. But I think for me personally, the rule in Swamp is as long as I do not have the mids, I'm not going to leave Swamp. So if there's one item on left side, I am going there.
Interesting rule of thumb. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think mids and Swamp are one of the worst things. Because, like, you can skip an item later if you need the ice rod or something, but mids lock, or rather unlock a lot of things. So I tend to not skip anything in Swamp. That's my personal thing. But we're going to see the hammer on Tam's side as well. So I'm going to assume he's going to be also in Swamp very soon. And there's your compass. So one item left side Swamp already. So Magno probably wants to see the big key next. And, you know, if the map is coming up somewhere and not left side Swamp, he wants to have it in the big chest. So he at least knows that there's 2 items in left side Swamp. So you can just go for it. But
yeah. I mean, right, and especially in this case, you can make the early decision, and going to left side front directly is going to be faster, right, than waiting basically to come back.
Yeah.
You just hope that you don't see the big key after you've already been on the left side basically. But yeah, Tam was walking away from Catfish, with good reason to, in this case, not believe in that fish, but unfortunately today we've got the hammer. But yeah, Tam's gonna be in Swamp Palace very shortly, right behind Magno.
Yeah, right now the difference more or less is Tam hasn't finished Hera and Magno hasn't visited Saha yet for his lamp.
For that lamp, yeah. I mean, so presumably Magno is gonna get his lamp when he eventually goes over to Eastern, probably with the bow. It's gonna be pretty interesting.
I mean, that's probably what he's
Magno's
waiting
gonna
for.
get without that, yeah.
He really is waiting for the lamp right now. He has the hammer. He wants to see the bow next, and potentially the fire Nan, and then it's Mids go mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This could be really, really big. And the fact that we do have Kena Samaria makes kind of like the right side GT issue not, as big of a worry, right? Last thing you kind of want to do is get all the way to GT, not find the big key, and then have to go search the world for Samaria because, you were playing the entire scene in go mode at that point.
I mean, technically you're right. On the other hand, when it's like the hindsight thing, right? If you're in a race and you're in the training, then you want to have the big key. You want to have the big key on the right side, right? So you have more time to catch up and stuff. But anyway, we're gonna see that left side, and Magno's gonna show it us right now. And Tam is also entering.
Good thing we got that hook shot early. Man, that was kind of like a nice thing. Yeah, I mean, just in terms of like logic, once in this case we figured out that the pearl was early. Actually, speaking of, we have a bow. Good thing Magno didn't skip. All right, lamp incoming for Magno very shortly. Oh man, and the big key.
Wow.
It's such a nice little Swamp Palace layout. So as long as you didn't skip left side, you can come here first, and then you're quite happy.
So that's more or less fire out and Mids go mode. Anything between those two. What else we need? I don't know. Maybe a shovel or something.
Yeah, this is actually I would like to see a required shovel. That would be pretty nice. But yeah, in terms because we're only 30 some minutes in, and yeah, as we basically can beat how many dungeons? 5 at this point.
And and also I just want to say, because I just see Magno's doing now the compass chest, right? And he already did left side, so he was already sure that he's gonna do left side at least after the first check on Swamp. So he made up his mind probably very early. And also Tam is doing the same thing.
Yeah, it looks like Tam's gonna do the exact same thing, which is great, for both Tam and Magno. I mean, definitely, technically, yes, there are 2 bows out there, so you can't always find the second one, but it's just probably sitting in GT somewhere, right? So you have to go back to left side.
Yeah. I mean, for now, I would give the advantage definitely to Magno. He has done Hera already. He's definitely deeper in Swamp right now. Like, if suddenly Fire Rod and Mids are now turning up right in front of you, then Magno definitely has a bit of an advantage, but not too much. Like, anything can happen, so...
Yeah, right. And you mentioned this case potentially too, Fire Rod in Mitsuko mode. You definitely want to find the Fire Rod first. Can be a lot of divergence. If one person finds the Mitz first, before the Fire Rod, or versus, the other way around.
Yeah, then you suddenly get then you suddenly get bombos. You get your Meyer Axe, you get your Swamp your Ice Axe. Suddenly you can dip Turtle Rock onto Laser Bridge. Like, you don't want to do that. You just want to get your Fire Rod and then your Mitz.
Oh yeah, by the way, so I did notice that Magno seems pretty, like, he seems to maybe prefer Bomb Diver Down versus Cane Diver Down. I don't know if that was just a thing.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand.
Okay, team meeting.
Why would you want to wait for a bomb timer when you just can move? Like, I would never understand that. But people are comfortable with different things.
This is gonna be the review. Magno, when he watches us back.
It's all good, Magno. It's all good.
Yeah.
Do the diver down as you want.
No, it's all good. Yeah. No, Magno has been killing it this seed so far. He's done quite, like I said. Yeah, execution has been quite strong. Basically breezed through Dark Aga, which is no easy feat. And he's made all of these really, right decisions so far, right? He made the right decision to even call for a left side swamp. Only, I guess technically maybe 2 items back there, but, we still got the bow out of it, which is very, very important.
Yeah. And we're gonna see Pod and Eastern very soon on Magno's side. So
yeah,
he's probably gonna check here and then go to. Oh
yeah, this is gonna say this is actually a pretty nice route. He's gonna be able to take a peek at Lake Hylia Island, and then as you said, you're gonna go visit Hobo, and then we're gonna be able to just run over to Pod Eastern. This is actually really nice overworld routing.
Yeah, saves him at least the. Saves him at least the flute, like fluting to 5 and stuff.
I also like the fact that he took advantage of his gold sword, decided to slash the buzz block, because that is something that you can do only with the gold sword.
Only people who really appreciate the gold sword would do that.
Yeah.
I claim that, even though I have no evidence for that.
I honestly, like, as much maybe like Flak or maybe I don't know, probably it's not like open mode is maybe like looked down upon necessarily, but it's like all of the more, I guess, like competitive modes or whatever, they always kind of limit yourself to some version of a hard item pool, right? And it's just very uncommon that you actually get to see gold sword in action, right?
Yeah.
So very nice to be able to see it being used.
Zero cycle Drynex and stuff, like, that's fun.
Yeah, speaking of zero cycle though, Tam actually tried to get the zero cycle. Yeah, with the gold sword, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I was just about to say, don't die to Argus. I've seen recently someone die to that.
Yeah, that might have happened once or twice in a pretty important race. So.
All right, but gets it done easily, and swamp done. Magno almost forgetting his lamp. Yeah, give 10 rupees for free to the monkey.
It's okay, it's a tough economy these days. We can always afford to help those in need. But but certainly, like, I mean, Magno looks like he could, like, I could have probably used that lamp a little bit earlier, but I mean, based on what he knows or what he's seen in the seed, I'm sure he could have figured out, right, that the lamp was somewhere.
He basically knew that it's either Agina or the eastern area.
Exactly. It could have, I mean, for him to be able to do Dark Aga, it basically means that, he didn't have to go necessarily, like, double dip Eastern, for example, right, in order to find his lamp.
Yeah, and if you compare how these runners got their lamp, right, Tam, without the boots, had to walk from Link's house towards Saha, doing all the things on the way, while Magno was just mirroring on the way to Pod. So that's where the time save from doing Dark Aga comes, versus the time loss he gets where he has to orientate himself in the dark rooms and having no lamp. So I think the way Magno did it in the end was fine. I don't know if it really saved time, but I think his whole Aga Tower was fine, so I guess he's feeling good about that.
Yeah, and the fact that he also had boots for Aga Tower, I think certainly helped out a lot as well. Right, he could have basically done a boostless, but he managed to sequence break it out. Versus Tam, right? Even though Tam could see the entire time, Tam unfortunately did not have boots. We are going to do some dig game overworld stuff, but this is going to be the end of the route, presumably, for Tam, at least in the Dark World. Now, we have no myths, so we can't lift this giant rock, so we're probably going to go over to Village of Outcast, though. Presumably, or not. Never mind. We're going elsewhere.
We're going to 5.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
we're going to do Pod Eastern. Yeah. That's definitely...
You want to take a
much
chance to
better
get
place.
mids, and have the easier access to...
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, potentially, we are looking at, we need Fire Rod and we need mitts. Please find Fire Rod first. that would be ideal. Then we don't have to search the world for the Fire Rod. Nobody's ever missed Fire Rod before.
No. Nobody's missing Fire Rod. So, yeah. Okay, so Magno's gonna go to the back first. He got the big key in the front. I was wondering if he's gonna go to the boss now.
Yeah, I was also wondering that the same thing. I mean, it's like Raven's like in Magno's shoes. Like, what would you do? Like, would you just rush Helma?
No.
I mean, I guess you're missing only 2 items, right?
Exactly.
So,
if it's one, then there's an argument to make for, but 2 not.
Mm-hmm. And you have the mirror, so you don't really need that like free warp back to the beginning.
There's still an argument to make for 2, right?
Pod with the value, quote unquote, good or bad, we're not sure yet, but we have found one of our 2 required items. So it is Fire Rod Go mode. But Pod is just gonna be one of those like, great dungeons where you're just gonna find the Fire Rod here, right? Fire shield.
Right now, this is going in Magno's favor so far. Like Tam needs to have something either happen to Magno, or an item like the Fire Rod now has to be a little bit out of the way, or the GT Bicky has to be in a different. Because right now, the advantages are definitely on Magno's side. Further in pod, has done Hera still. Almost did all the checks Tam did besides on the mountain, but he can do it with the mids now. So there might be the Fire Rod simply in Hookshot Cave, and Tam has to go up again as well.
Well, right. So but in this case, like the mist to be in pod, right, is actually good for Tam because this opens up so much more potential for variance.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah. So now it's going to be but I guess on the plus side for both of them, right? They can complete every single dungeon Crystal Dungeon except Skullwoods. I don't know how much we believe in Dunka. We can just see the Fire Rod sitting, in the front of Skullwoods for all we know. I guess we'll see.
All right, we're gonna see the front first. I think Magno has found the map and the compass. I'm assuming, otherwise he wouldn't.
Oh my gosh! Oh, Magno, look, he is so proud. I mean, very well should be. He has made basically every single right decision.
He wasn't on the mountain. He hasn't seen everything up from Stumpy. Like, what is this?
Yeah, this is a fast seed, right? we're gonna be done and out, and basically in 30 minutes.
I mean, usually these are the seeds
for that matter.
These are usually the seeds where you have a Master Sword Ganon fight, Silverless, but we have not tempered. We have butter. Like we're over equipped, and that with that amount of items or other locations left. Yeah, and honestly, like, and as you said, right, like the fact that we have basically, I don't think the restream can see Magno's item tracker or location tracker, but I mean, it is like a sea of green, right? I don't even know where silvers would be, like if you even check for silvers at this point, because like the chances of you finding it kind of like on your path is just so low. But it looks like though Tam decided to go rush Helma first. Has not gone to the back, so no mitts, no Fire Rod yet. But so provided Tam stays in pod and finishes, he's gonna save some time, by the way. He's gonna save some time probably because he has to go back into the front and jump down to Stalfos basement, which gives him the Fire Rod. So he's gonna save that time in the dark. Maze.
In the dark maze.
Because his mitts is gonna be go mode.
Yeah. I mean, every little bit's gonna help, and of course, depending where that GT Big Key is, true. As you mentioned this earlier, right? Maybe if Magno does Stalfos room first, paying tribute to your team name, even though you did, have the Stalfos room in Eastern. There's also Stalfos room in GT. Versus maybe Tam goes to Hope room first, right?
Oh, he's gonna go get the key first. All right. Well, he doesn't know that there's a key. There could be just an item. Then he would have to drop down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's gonna do Dark Maze. I thought he's gonna drop down first, because regardless if there's a key or not, you kind of want to see the second item. But then it could have just been a map or compass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so whatever, it's gonna be fine. I think still.
The brief few moments where you find mitts, You don't know, and you're thinking about where that fire rod's going to be, and then you find the fire rod in pod.
The only worry right now I have is that Tam might say, you know what, there's only one item here in pod. I'm going to leave that. That's not going to be my fire rod.
But it's in the front or Stalfo's basement. Like, there's no way, right? There's no way.
I mean, there could be just a key in Stalfo's here. You could just have a key in Stalfo's basement and then go to Big Key Chest. You know, it's just it's just a big time investment.
I sincerely hope that Tam does not skip.
Oh, wait, is he gonna? Oh, he's gonna bomb jump here. All right, he's gonna save the key. That's why he goes here. All right, that's fine. So he's gonna save the key. He's gonna do Big Key Chest then. He's gonna get another key, and then he just drops down to the fire rod. So that's fine.
So some eagle-eye observers here in chat, including our tracker, has noted that Magno has in fact not finished Eastern Palace. Which is a crystal, by the way.
You know, that's where you can see being teammates goes just over tournaments, giving some time back, making it more competitive.
Oh yes, that is exactly correct. Although, you know, to be fair, if you had found basically go mode in sequential like that in pod, and you know and Magno's reaction was like phenomenal, right? Like you might be, you know, just a little bit more excited.
I hope he noticed that what his mistake was. Because that can be very expensive if you go up GT and then realize, oh damn, I miss a crystal.
It certainly is not one of the greatest feelings in the world that I would not, you know, recommend for somebody. But you know, the good news is that he's got like 3 more dungeons basically or something, you know, to figure it out.
I mean, we saw it, but he was shaking his head, so I assume he realized it.
Mm-hmm. All right, good job, Tam. Tam has actually gone back to do Stalfo's business. Tam is remembering Eastern Palace is a thing.
That is valuable time.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah, so long as Magno realizes before he goes up the mountain, right? Going back to Eastern is like 15 seconds, right? Something like that. You know, with boots.
Well,
so it's not not the end of the world.
Let's call it 20.
Because like 20 seconds, that's all fine. Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying that is Hera can be done under a minute if you go mode, like easily. Like it's like a 55 seconds thing, and then you have the crystal cutscene. So every second kind of matters. Mm-hmm. And you know you can lose by 5 seconds, and that is basically going to Eastern again.
Well, we still have GT big key routing. We still have, you know, execution, you know, in upper GT. But I mean, basically the rest of the game is execution, right? In the fact that we do have Gold Sword.
If you lose by like a couple of seconds and you know you forgot to clear Eastern, you will look back and say that is probably the easiest avoidable mistake with the biggest amount of time I could have saved.
Fair.
Like it's not about execution there. It's just okay, where can I save time? And that definitely cost him a couple of seconds.
Mm-hmm. Tam was already in the Stalfo squad room. I only saw 3 skeletons though, unfortunately.
Yeah. The fourth one is not gonna appear.
The fourth one is the opponent that Tam is playing, which is Magno, right?
True. The fourth one is on his way.
Yeah. Right here.
I would have loved to say that he's ahead. If he wouldn't have forgot about Eastern, then it would have actually been true, but not in this case. So.
It is certainly very close. I mean, but as you mentioned, Tam does not have Hera done, and I mean, and Magno, even, you know, he's what, like half of 3/4 of the Eastern behind, but Tam also still has to do Desert. Like, I mean, I honestly, I think that Magno still has a time advantage here.
Oh, definitely. Magno is still ahead. Magno hasn't done the Eastern part of basically nothing on the mountain instead of Hera. So that's pretty much where the time save is coming from in this seed.
Yeah, and I think Tam ended up doing a little bit of overworld, like Tam did Dig Game, you know, Stompy, K45, because they came from the south side.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then, but of course, you know, Magno with the early sequence break up the mountain to go find the boots, like, and had them, you know, a good number of minutes before Tam. Just like as you said, you know, for a seed of this length and this much content, even the little stuff like adds up actually quite a bit.
I think I would have left that hammer on Catfish for
the fact that Tam and Magno both went to Catfish when they did. I mean, that was quite.
It's such an easy call to say. I take the hookshot and I go over to Village of Outcast, right? It's such an
or
easy
East Death Mountain for that matter, right? Yeah.
Sure, yeah, as well.
Yeah, and in fact, right, and like the fact that if you don't have the hammer, it also just means a lot of your routing is very awkward, right? Because you only have the Aga portal, basically, right? Because the Mistform pod, and so you're going to that portal over and over, and you basically just keep running, right? Like everywhere, everywhere you go. So it can be quite awkward.
All right, I kind of like that Tam is not gonna go desert, because if he would have gone desert, we would have had a head-to-head comparison. Now we have to speculate for a little bit more to see how.
Is this gonna be a little bit more of your anxiety reduction?
Yeah,
Ravis. I mean, it's almost, we talked about actually, Big Star actually mentioned potentially some pilot spoiler, right? I mean, this is basically just execution, right? You're in go mode, with like 6 dungeons left to go, and this is, I hope your runner can pull it through.
Yeah, and it's all the quick dungeons, right? Like there's no Mire, there's no Turtle Rock. This is gonna be Thief's Town and then an easy Skull Woods, and for Tam it's gonna be Desert and then Hera, and Magno's finishing here Eastern, and then he's gonna go do Thief's Town and Skull Woods, and he's gonna go up the mountain. So yeah, I assume Tam is gonna be a little bit earlier up the mountain, but because of that extra round he has to take with Hera, probably a little bit behind Magno, unless something happens.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but you really think Tam's gonna be the first up the mountain? I mean, Tam still has to do Desert, which I think is gonna be longer than. Like, I think it's still longer than what.
I don't remember where the big key in the front of Thief's Town was. Maybe it is the 4th chest, maybe not. Because Desert is really not that much, but yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's like a desert, like the back. I don't know. It's deceptively long, like longer than you might expect, I guess, because you have the cutscene at the end. You have to get all the way back there, and then, I don't know.
I guess. I mean, you might be right. We'll see.
Yeah, we definitely will see.
This is a great matchup, regardless, and I highly recommend everyone to follow these runners. These runners are great. They're playing a lot of rando. They're playing a lot of different modes. And
I almost thought that the open mode was somewhat, and it's not like wasted, it's like not the right word, but it's it's like it would have been so cool in order to see these guys
honestly
play.
For them it turns out to be very cool because they know this was a quick one, and there's a chance that you're ahead, but there's also a chance that you're behind. You didn't do much. Tam knows he has done a little bit more stuff. That was nothing. He knows there's quite. Well, not quite, but some decisions to be made different, and you can save more time.
Did my opponent skip all this?
Yeah,
like that feeling is very real. For this feed, in particular. I mean, it's probably true in general, but I mean, yes, like the fact that we got to skip 3 of the longest, as you said, longest dungeons of the game, and we found basically everything. As you said, like anything extra really does add up.
Magno also getting the God Pixel, saving a tremendous amount of time here in this dungeon.
And both of them do have burnout, but I don't know if they want to, I guess, like even afford the potential like lag frames. All right, nice fight on Tam's side. Tam also had really nice hookshot usage, basically in the basement as well, just saving a couple of extra. Frames here and there. Tam is also very talented in no logic. I think Tam knows how to use a hookshot. This is what we've seen. Got the hook speed. Unfortunately, the skateboard is just a little bit harder to control. But yeah, this is going to be Tam's last dungeon before they go over to Desert, and then up the mountain for Hera and GT. Meanwhile, this is going to be Magno's just finishing up Skullwoods, or Thief's Town. He's going to do Skullwoods, and then he's going to head up the mountain as well. Oh, Twin, did you happen to know what Tam's sprite is? It is quite cute, but we actually do not know.
I asked you that earlier, because
I have no idea. It looked like a Care Bear on a skateboard.
I wonder why you would need boots when you're on a skateboard.
That's a good question. Maybe it's like a rocket powered skateboard.
Or maybe it's like better wheels. Imagine if we get different skins for boots depending on your sprite.
That would be awesome. It's a bunny on a skateboard. Well, thanks. But by the way, so did you know? So talk about like these two being kind of like on the same league team earlier this year, right? So the Tam's in Australia and Magno's in Germany, and we're playing at what time of day here in the Eastern time zone? Like,
wait, isn't that the
4
same
p.m.?
time zone? No, I don't know how they came
Not
to
quite.
that.
But it's like I
I
think
don't know.
Australia is like 12 hours apart or something. But I think because of daylight savings, I think Germany's only 5 hours apart from us. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely not prime time, I would say, for either Magno or Tam.
So yeah, Tam with a nice mortal fight here. Magno on his way to Skywoods. Finally, the first extra part that Tam has to do is still Desert Palace. And yeah, you're probably right. Magno's gonna be the first runner on the mountain since he's only finishing Skywoods right now.
Yeah, I mean the back of Skullwoods certainly does not take, I would say, long or as long in this case in order to get to the back of Desert. And we basically see the fact that we're already skipping everything, but Magno just has to literally go and drop into Moth, and Tam does have a little bit more of a trek in order to get into the back of Desert. But certainly this race is, it is still quite close, right? Even though we do have Gold Sword for execution, which means that most things are going to die in one slash, we still in this case have a good amount of execution. RNG for enemies up on the gauntlet doesn't matter what kind of sword you have. It's going to basically bully you regardless. And of course, we don't know where that GT Vicky is either.
Yeah, this is gonna be a sub-hour GT entrance, which is really nice for everyone.
It's only is a very, very fast scene. Magno does have a fairy in case anyone was worried.
Yeah, but he definitely wants to keep that one right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it just happens to be Magno drops into Mothula, takes 2 hits immediately, and suddenly he's down a bunch of health.
All right, you want to play a little game right now since you have 7 crystals.
Oh, 7 crystals. How many Staffos are going to spawn in GT if we have 7 crystals? Do you know the answer?
I say 4.
4? Okay, all right. Okay, we have a 4 guess. Any other guesses? Or were you thinking about playing a different game?
I think that was a different game, but I forgot what it was.
Okay, well, I guess maybe, you know what, we'll just count along, to what Magno does, because he is going to be the first one here up on the mountain. He has already finished Hera super early, so he is just going to be looking for the last thing he needs to finish up the game, which is the GT Big Key before he can go upstairs. Ooh, we're even going up the Super Bunny way, too.
I mean, he hasn't done the hammer packs up there. And with quick swapping, it's pretty much at the same time.
And you get to avoid the dead rocks. That's always
so if you get dead rocked once, then it's already a time loss. If you don't get dead rocked and can get through there finally, you probably can take it 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, we kind of already saw it earlier. Tam, maybe the mountain is just cursed, right? Because Tam tried to go over there with the hook shot, it ended up getting dead rocked, and it was just a very sad time. Actually, Ravis, what do you think Magno's collection rate is?
Ooh, that's gonna be very low. I think this is gonna be sub 100 because the Thief Sound Big Key was early as well.
Sub 100.
Yeah, for sure. There's no Meyer Big Key. There's no Turtle Rock keys that had to be picked up. Like a lot of checks were just not done. No mids checks. No.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because we found both mids and Fire Rod and Pod. I mean, so we did do all of Pod. For what it's worth. I mean, that's still a lot of checks, but yeah, like we were able to go mode so much.
maybe like 105 or something, but I don't think it's gonna be.
Yeah, it is going to be quite low. Yeah, I guess you know what, we're gonna see. Okay, sub GT entry is definitely going to be very, very low. I guess we'll see what that GT Big Key is because if it's late, right, that's something that's gonna just pad our collection rate.
You could have picked that up for fake powder.
Then we would increase our collection rate, right? We can't afford that.
Yeah. It's fine.
He's also got a fairy for what it's worth, right? So I think he'll probably be okay.
Also, he got the bugnet, which Tam doesn't have.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's true. Maybe an homage to another one of your teammates who may have an affinity for that bugnet. It's also a good item to have.
So the first 5 checks have only had
Like,
there were no
like
keys.
40 rupees or something.
Yeah, there has to be 2 keys right here. Yeah. Technically, there could have been 1 in Tile Room, but we don't count Tile Room. Tile Room doesn't exist unless it's the last check. Then it suddenly appears. So Tam on a 7th crystal is going to be right down GT. And in theory, there's still a chance that, if he goes Hope Room and goes full left and he's going to be right, that would be quite the catch-up there.
Yeah. More in this case, we're definitely not going to have like the high variance, there was like no key in Hope Room or something like that, and there was something in Stalfos Room, and then you have to come here for Compass Room. But yeah, Tam is just finishing up, and in this case, if we go,
ooh, there's no big key on the right side.
So actually, with the current key layout, I hope it's definitely not. Yeah, I was gonna say with the current key layout. The fact that we didn't get a small key on the right side the first time, or the left side the first time, could you do Rando Rush?
No, I wouldn't do that, because you might miss a key on the way. So they definitely don't want to do that. There can be 3 keys basically here in the Hope Room and in Tile Room.
By the way, I don't know if Magno heard you, from wherever he is, but he also did pick up the mushroom. Maybe he will actually use it for maybe he will actually use it for fake powder. Oh man, half magic. Okay, that's a nice safety. I believe that is a very favorite safety that you like to get your runners, Ravens.
So yeah, but that makes the mushroom pickup not as good, because you have to have low magic up there, and you probably don't have that less magic.
We can just spam that fire rod. But
that you're still wasting some time. But in the end, I would still prefer the half magic over. Over the mushroom part.
Maybe the powder will just be here also in GT. We won't have to worry. And
we'll
just subtract 1 from his collection rate.
And for now, Tam is going this way, the same way as Magno did. We have to see if he maybe goes full red. I don't expect that.
I also would not expect that as well.
Yeah, but things can happen. This is otherwise all about execution, basically. And maybe the Tam does another check and gets silver somewhere. It's not here. If he's going full right, he would make a choice. I don't think he's gonna do it though. Oh, he has blue cane out. Okay, never mind. I got hyped for a second. All right. Is it gonna be Bob's chest? It is not. We found all 4 keys. So it's either going to be in this vanilla room or in Tile Room. First we have to defeat Armor's Knights. Armor's Knights are down. Are we gonna see a vanilla Bicky here? Nope. Yep, that's number 20.
That is a very late GT Vicky, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the collection right here.
And we have to.
But actually, but I mean, this particular key layout, right? It doesn't seem to have very much variance. And you're basically kind of forced to do like one route.
Unless you're doing Hope Route and go full left after a Hope Room.
Yeah, that's also true.
But when you find 2 keys there, I don't know how many people really do it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So an accidental mirror or something like that in the near future could no arrows anymore among us.
Let's not think about such travesties that might befall in either person. That would be a very heartbreaking occurrence. Magno is out of arrows for what it's worth here. It's going to be a little bit more awkward, just because you kind of want some ammunition, for ranged weaponry in order to kind of take down some of these, the Stalfos squads here in GT.
Basically, yeah. I mean, this is not a squad. This is just a duo with 2 other guys.
Oh, true. It's like a pair. Oh, Magno actually picking up that half magic. certainly not looking forward to using that mushroom anytime soon. Or we're just gonna spam the fire rod here in
Yeah.
G3.
Fire rod is so good in the climb.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, these Zyzacs, Magno actually made a really good use. The burning animation for them takes a long time, but he certainly kind of planned it that way. A very nice gauntlet so far from Magno.
Yeah, as long as you don't fire out the last Zyzak, you should be fine.
All these worthless medallions.
Ooh, getting no 1 cycle, probably a 2 cycle.
Yeah, we got the fire. Ooh,
oh no, I spoke to you.
All right, I don't know. Are your race nerves going at this point? I mean, you. Oh. This may not be the greatest of morale boosters for Magno.
I think that fight. I think that fight answers your question. No.
Yeah. Would you just shut off would you just close the race room at this point?
No.
Okay, all right. I guess your eyes are absolutely glued to whether or not it's finished. But yeah, like the fact that we're we had a sub-hour entry into GT. We are basically climbing. I don't know. It's just like every little point that's like magnified at this point, because you know that certainly Magno, I think from his perspective, knew that he picked a very good route, but also Tam could have also picked something very similar, and then he probably doesn't think that Tam's going to do like a 4-cycle, Moldorm 2 or something, right?
I mean, from both runners' perspective, is like, okay, if my opponent did not get the hammer from Catfish, this is a done deal. Because if you go village and you don't have the hammer, I don't know when you come to Catfish, but you will at least check probably the Smith chain. You do you full clear Skull Woods, you full clear. Well, Thieves Town is not too big, but we got the big key in the second chest, so at least you check 2 more checks in the front. So there are a couple of more checks you're definitely gonna do.
Yeah. I mean, and while I would never publicly, well, maybe I would, but if you decide to do some of these dungeons and not go mode, right? For example, like the front of Skull Woods without the fire rod, right? Or with the fire rod for that matter. It certainly still takes a lot of time, and both Magno and Tam are able to skip it.
Yeah, and even though Tam got a 2-cycle Landmore, Magno took a double his amounts. I just want to have that, I want to have that set with butter and half magic, nonetheless. But yeah, Magno has a fairy right now, and looks pretty good to finish this one up and give us a 3-1 lead. But no, hands down, like Tam played very well. It's just this was one of the quick ones, the very quick ones, and it turns out if you do an East F Mountain, and a couple of Dark World checks too much, you're just behind, and it's very, very, very hard to come back from.
The fact that the seed was so short, right? And as you said, like in a seed where it's like, I don't know, like 130's worth of time, or 90 minutes, doing a couple extra checks here and there probably won't, really cost you all that much. Maybe, it's just kind of like a drop in the bucket. But, when a seed, they're gonna finish sub 110, right? Any extra checks, right? An extra minute. I mean, the seed almost pretty much like spoiler, right? And like 1 minute is a lot of time.
Yeah. I mean, Magno is probably in a position where he can afford 1 fall down unless the Ganon warps are insane. But you just want to finish it. You have a fairy, well...
I think Magno used his fairy.
Ganon.
Is that...
No. He has... I think he had that right before going into Aga 2. He checked his bottles.
Oh, right. But then he used his fairy in Aga 2.
Oh, he did? Oh, I didn't catch it. Well,
I want to say that he doesn't have a fairy left in his other bottles. Maybe it was like a bee or something, but I can't remember.
You better fall down now if you fall down, but you don't fall at all, okay?
Yeah, he is certainly off. Like he's past the danger zone of basically just dying straight up. But he still has to make sure, as you said, he doesn't get knocked off. That would probably be the most costly. Meanwhile, though, Tam is going through Act 2. I saw like the patterns on Magno's side. I think they look pretty reasonable. All right, he pulled out the lamp, making Magno.
Okay, dude.
Oh, God. Okay, everything's fine, right? He's not in. He's Onko now, but he is fine.
There's no
he didn't get knocked off. See, he just got to get back in the groove. Magno and Tam have, I don't know how many times they've done Phase 4 Ganon Silverless. Like, they spun probably thousands of times by now.
And
If
yet
not
you
tens.
sometimes fall down or die. This can happen anytime. You have to focus, bring it to the end, and get the W. Because we're now in a position. If Magno dies, then it's Tam who's in the lead. Clearly.
Yeah, it looks like Magno's though is doing just fine. He is, being a bit more cautious. So long, take the extra. You don't have a pilot kind of telling you like, don't worry, take the extra cycle if you have to. But Magno is certainly making sure that he doesn't die. Tam though, on Phase 3. But it is probably not going to be fast enough to catch up. But oh man, this was a very.
There's only one bridge between Magno and the win here, and get your GGs out.
Holy cow, man!
Looks like this is gonna be a minute between them or something like that. But yeah, Magno's gonna finish first.
Yeah. Oh, look at that!
And
look of joy and happiness.
If you could see the fan right now, he's very, very happy about that race. Yeah. Finishing this one and beating his former teammate of the league and getting the win.
You never lose league teammates, Rivas.
True.
He's still a potato pouch, at
he's
heart.
right now playing with other teammates. That's what I want to imply.
That's
so it's
yeah,
not like they
gave
are
up the stomach.
Right now they are not teammates.
Yeah, and the fact that the fact that he took a win off of Tam is one of the best players like in the community for this. Still quite the achievement.
But yeah, that Ganon looked very clean on Tam's side as well.
Yeah, Tam execution has been super strong this entire time. I mean, maybe it wasn't like as showcase, I guess, as much. For like Tam didn't have to do Dark Aggro, for example, right? But I mean, like every single fight movement, has been quite clean, as you said on Tam's side. GG's out in Tam, by the way. They finished right around like about a minute behind Magno, but really, really well done. So fast at the seed, it is really. Oh wow!
Yeah, we barely saw anything here in the seed, and I see them already in the waiting room. They can jump in anytime.
Maybe we can pull them in if they don't want to voluntarily come. Oh, never mind.
There we go. Both runners are here in the booth. Yeah, GG's guys.
GG's Magno, GG's Tam.
Hello, thank you, GG's. Tam, you still might be muted. Okay, we can't hear Tam yet, but we will fix that.
Yeah, I think Tam's gonna tell us when they're gonna be here. Magno, what do you think about the seat though so far when we're waiting for Tam?
I was so happy with everything. Just everything that I scouted for the Moon Pearl at Lumberjack. I really didn't want to. I was glad I picked up the hookshot before Dark Aga. And I was super glad that I hit this lamp thing, whatever, with the hookshot. I thought I'm not going to Eastern Palace for just a lamp in the big chest or something. I don't want to. No.
Reasonable.
But yeah, I can see people skipping left side swamp. Did Tam go there right away?
Yeah, you both did the same thing. So the difference pretty much in this race was that Tam got his boots later than you. He got the lamp before going to Aga. Also, he has done the East Death Mountain part and everything from Stumpy to Digging Game. And that's pretty much the difference.
And that's definitely not a minute. So, yeah. Routing played in my cards, in my favor.
You, for example, you went up Hera the regular way. He go-moded it later, right before GT. So there was a couple of differences on your side as well. But the most important parts you both did, especially the hammer on Catfish, which different people might just not get early. And then you go the Northern Dark World, and loop around and stuff.
Yeah, and the fact that you went up the mountain early and got your boots, I think there was actually several minutes before Tam ended up getting theirs. That was certainly quite the difference.
Yeah, and I mean, without the mirror, you only have 2 checks on the mountain. I mean, you want the boots because you want your Moon Pearl, and you have to get the boots somewhere. They have to be somewhere. But yeah, I was just hoping to find anything up the mountain. I was hoping for boots actually because I saw the Moon Pearl, and I was just hoping for a lamp in Eastern or something.
I have a question there.
Yes.
How worried have you been when you saw the mirror and you go to Hera? You know you probably missed your lamp. I mean, that could have been different, right? You just get a small key and the boots are upstairs or something like that, and then this is a different race. How worried have you been when you entered Hera that you might skip something there? Even just maybe one item.
I was terrified. I thought, damn, you're skipping lamp and boots, and you should be up here with your hook shot. I don't know. I can't explain everything because I really felt like save and quitting at the tavern, for example. I didn't want to scout library and race game. Fortunately, I did. It was all gut decisions. I don't know.
Was very well played on that front. I don't know, Tam. Can you hear us? Looks like we still have some issues there on that front. Yeah, I mean we're 3-1 up now. We know what Game 5 is with inverted keys. We all know that Vortex is gonna be the one remaining player that we have to take out. Any thoughts of the future races we might have?
Just you should just know we're ready. Gamma and I are ready. Whatever happens.
And then after the set, I guess everything resets, right? Like you just play a whole new team and then you still like 4 new games and whatnot.
It's a new best of 7 after that.
Okay. Vortex is quite the formidable opponent. I mean, and this is also rando, so I certainly look forward to many more matches. Could very well be a well, Vortex is certainly not is not an opponent to be overlooked.
I mean, this could be a reverse sweep, right? He could just beat us all and win it for their team.
And probably it's gonna be between us first, Vortex and me, playing the first round, because again, there's that double entrance chance, and that's nothing for me.
After that, Gamma can go, and then he will face the final boss. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe.
Actually, yeah. Are you allowed to like have repeats? Like, can you after your first 4 games, can you just send the same person in? Like,
sure, you're allowed to send anyone. Well, technically, so you can't have a repeat, right? Because if you win, the other one is out. So you can't just bring a player back that lost already.
There's no same matchup.
Yeah.
Right. Not the same matchup, but in this case, like you just have the same person like from your team go, against the other team, basically.
I mean, the other team right now has Vortex left as the only runner. So technically, for the last 3 races, it's Vortex, and he has to win all races. But yeah, that's for another day. Unfortunately, it looks like Tam has still some microphone issues, so I assume we're not gonna hear from them. Any final words or thoughts, Magno, that you have?
Yeah, just don't forget Eastern Palace, and Lanmo 2 is my kryptonite. No, but really thank you guys for putting up this restream. And the seat was so awesome. I was just so happy the entire seat. I don't know. More seats like this, please.
That's what we all wish for.
All sub 110 seats. Yeah, sounds easy. I would like to see this basically like cross keys, inverted keys, 80 keys. Yeah, go for it, please. would be quite fun.
Alrighty then. I guess I'm gonna take over. Hi, I'm VXR. No, I'm really not, but I guess most people can tell. Thank you all so much for watching this race. Big shout out to our 2 racers, to Magno and to Tam, even if the interview didn't work out for Tam. Thank you so much for trying. And for the great race. And also, a big shout out to our team here, to Clearmouse, to Ray, and to Derek on tracking. Unless anybody still has some final words, I guess I'm gonna end this restream. You get 5 seconds.
And just thank you to everyone involved for the nice race, and GG's, and see you next time.
couldn't have said it any better. Thank you all for watching, and bye-bye.